Part 2 of Full Court Press Basketball Debate, May 11th, 2015. The terrible trio here, Chris Guyette, Yvonne Juno, and Johnny Malsong. LeBron James claims that Joakim Noah's trash talk in Game 3 got, quote, very disrespectful. Now I'm going to go on and I'm going to tell y'all what he said in the press conference. And I think I only need to sum it up with this one sentence. He said, quote, "I'm a father with 3 kids." Mm-hmm. It was very disrespectful.
Well, I think Joakim said something about family.
Your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I wish I knew what Joakim had said.
I didn't know what Joakim Noah said, but I read about it.
They're not going to
release that.
But if you can only imagine what Joakim Noah said to lead LeBron to say, I have 3 kids, I have a family.
I'm a father and I have 3 kids.
I'm a father
and
of 3 children.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever it was totally uncalled for and unnecessary.
We already know that Joakim Noah is a trash talker.
Yeah.
We know that.
But it must have been
But it must have been something extremely bad for LeBron James
to get that pissed off.
To get all serious.
Yeah.
And just to blatantly
and
say,
react the
I'm a
way
father,
he
I
did.
have 3 kids.
I think the 2 people...
Wait. LeBron has been trash talked before. On the court and off the court. In the press, in the media, by the analysts, whatever. For LeBron to react the way he did on the court, it must have been bad.
There are 3 NBA players that you can trash talk to, but you better not say anything about their family. Let's name them.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Dwayne Wade.
Kobe Bryant.
Dwayne Wade, too.
Chris Paul.
And Chris Paul.
Dwayne Wade, too.
If you... I am all about trash talk. I love to trash talk.
Oh, yeah, it psychs the other person out.
And it psychs you up.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm on the court. Oh, I talk all kinds of shit when I played. I did. I'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I am
not about that person's wife or children.
I am not going to insult a man's family.
Nope.
You insult a man with a family, that's fine. But you don't insult a man's family.
No, I agree.
I don't care what Noah said.
And I'll be honest with you. Did you think that Joakim was that kind of person?
Yes.
You did? Because I was surprised when I heard it. I didn't think he would do that.
Look, I really don't have much to say about this. You don't do that. That's the point. You don't do that.
No.
Matt Barnes fined $50,000 for a remark at James Harden's mother.
I got when I got the alert.
Your thoughts, and is this the right punishment? Why or why not?
When I got the alert.
What did it say? What happened?
Well,
I don't know anything about it.
First, I want to hear what Matt Barnes said.
Oh, I really don't want to say it on the air.
Go ahead.
No.
Wait,
hold on.
To the mother or about the mother?
To the mother.
Before you say
Give me the scenario of how it all came about.
Before you say it, I read, because since only on ESPN, since I'm not an insider, I didn't hear exactly what he said, but they put a quote from him from the press conference about it, and he said it was after the game, I believe it was, and it was something she said, and he said something back. He said there was nothing that I said that had no justify. He said it was completely justified.
Right. What he said because he's saying she initiated it.
Right, because he said that she said something.
Because I don't know anything about it.
It was very racist. Now Matt Barnes is a black man.
He's a light-skinned black man. Okay.
But it was very. I don't want to repeat it.
How did it happen?
After the game, Matt Barnes is walking through the tunnel, and James Harden's mother says something.
What'd she say?
I don't know what she said.
Okay, what?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
How
did he retaliate?
It was very racist. It used very, very foul language that I am not going to say on my show.
Did he use the N-word?
He did.
He's one too!
But it went beyond that. I'm not, and there are not a lot of things that I won't say on my show. I will not say what he said on this show. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was.
Well, shame on him.
I don't care if you don't respect the man, but it's the man's mother, regardless of who the guy is. I mean, I could go up to Osama bin Laden's mother, and I'd still respect her. I wouldn't respect her as a person, but I respect her as a mother. You don't treat any man's mom like that.
50,000 for a remark?
That's not.
Why not just turn James Harden loose on him?
I've got a couple of problems with this. I really, really do.
We're talking major unprofessional here.
No.
Major.
But I have a problem with it because why you got to go and say it's James Harden's mother? Because follow me on this. Follow me on this. Wait. Follow me on why I think that the media had a lot to do with this.
Oh, of course they did.
Follow me on this. If I'm Matt Barnes and I'm walking down the tunnel, and it could have been something extremely simple like, hey, you suck. It could have been that simple. Okay? But say I'm walking out the tunnel and somebody tells me I'm sucking. It just happens to be a female. And I say, blah, 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 blah. Well, she might be a mother too.
What?
Why we gotta find somebody because it's James Harden's mom? Is that why we find him? Is because it's James Harden's mom?
What was she doing in the tunnel to begin with?
She was a fan. She was in the stands.
Okay.
She was right above the tunnel.
Oh, okay, where the opening is.
But
Because it was in Houston.
Did we find Matt Barnes because it's James Harden's mother?
Of course we did.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I agree.
That's wrong. I'm sorry. I am not
You're not
discounting
perpetuating,
and I am not okaying Matt Barnes for being disrespectful to a fan because the fan is the reason he makes his money.
Mama shouldn't have started it either.
The fan is the reason he makes his money. But give me a non-big name NBA player.
It doesn't matter.
Matt Dellavedova. Okay? Am I fined $50,000 if I insult Matt Dellavedova's mom? Or am I just fined $50,000 because it's James Harden's mom? Why you gotta go out there and put James Harden's mama in the news?
Okay, let's take this in order.
I don't like it.
Number one, James Harden's mama should have kept her mouth shut in the first place. That's number one. Number two, he should have been man enough not to retaliate and say anything back. Very, very unprofessional. If it was so offensive to him what she said that he felt the need to retaliate, then it should be left up to the coach how it's handled. As for the $50,000 fine, it is totally because it's James Harden.
That's unacceptable.
It's totally because it's James Harden. And I have a question. Either turn James Harden loose on him or let Coach deal with him. What do you think Doc has to say about all this? Because the $50,000 fine did not come from Doc, that came from the front office. Is he going to be penalized by having to sit out games or anything?
No, this was 2 games ago.
That's it.
This was 2 games ago.
So just for the money.
Yep.
She made herself a nice little
This is wrong. This is wrong.
Now here I'm gonna go back to what you said about what if it wasn't James Harden's mother? What if it was somebody else? That takes me back to Joakim Noah pushing the fan as he's walking out off the court to the locker room. What if that was James Harden's mother? Would he have gotten fined $50,000 instead of $25,000?
I don't know. But there are guys.
That was just a fan.
I'm going to take y'all through a little bit of NBA history here. There are guys that are known for their mouths. Names like Dennis Rodman. Names like Kevin Garnett. Names
if Kevin Garnett couldn't piss somebody off, nobody
Names
can.
like Ron Artest, better known as Meta World Peace.
That's enough examples.
I don't even think that Kevin Garnett would directly insult
somebody's mama
fan.
or somebody's mama.
A fan. Garnett's gonna insult you. And I can respect that more than I can respect insulting a fan.
Yeah.
I don't like this because I don't think they did it for the right reason. Should he have been fined for insulting a fan? Yes, he should. Because that is inexcusable. That is unacceptable. But $50,000?
With what some of the fans scream at those players when they're coming off the court, they could be hundreds of suits every time there's a game. This is totally because...
So is this the right punishment? Absolutely not. No. It's too much.
No.
It's too much in my opinion.
No.
Chicago's Jimmy Butler.
You never answered my question. Before we go to Jimmy Butler. What do you think Doc has to say about this?
I don't think he's making too much of a big deal out of it. Because I don't think Doc Rivers is the type to dwell on petty crap like this. I think he's more focused on the big picture. Don't insult the fans. They're the reason you have a paycheck.
Right. And it kind of puts a blemish on the team.
They don't need another blemish. They've already got a blemish because of the Donald Sterling stuff.
Right.
They don't need another thing like that.
Right.
But he's focused on the big picture. He said you do it again, you get benched. That's what I can see Doc Rivers doing. But I don't see Doc Rivers sitting Matt Barnes down in the locker room and say, no, Matt, because it's petty. It's something stupid that got blown way out of proportion
by the media
because the woman happened to be James Harden's mom.
And don't think she didn't blow it all over the media.
Chicago's Jimmy Butler wins the NBA Most Improved Player Award. Is this deserved?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? I would have been so upset if they'd have given it to anybody else. Of course. Now, there's quite a few that I would consider very improved. But Jimmy Butler is like...
I think they gave it to him for the wrong reason, though.
Why?
Because every time I see this, I see that he improved from 13 points a game to 20 points a game. I don't give a damn about points. Look at his all-around stats. Oh, I'm not arguing that he deserves the award. I've been saying he's the most improved player since January.
How do you know that that's the only reason they gave it to him?
I'm not saying it's the only reason they gave it to him, but I'm saying if you're going to advertise...
Is that what they're dwelling in?
If you're going to advertise the most improved player, make it about something more than their scoring, please.
Overall playing.
Exactly. Hell, he's not known for his scoring. He's known for his defense, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, come on. Then make it about that. Don't make it just about the fact that he improved 7 points a game.
He's on the other end of the court before the rest of the team is.
This is more than deserved. It is more than deserved. Because no one, maybe besides Anthony Davis, improved more this season than Jimmy Butler.
Right.
But the thing about Jimmy Butler is that he came out of nowhere.
Right.
We knew what Anthony Davis was capable of coming into this season.
Right.
Jimmy who?
Jimmy who?
Now I knew who he was because he got
he
basically got injected into the Chicago starting lineup last year in the playoffs because he had to.
Right.
But then you got to start.
But he was virtually unknown until this year.
New Orleans' Drew Holiday has a screw removed from his leg.
Okay.
Apparently, he's moving better. I got updates today. He is moving better. He's in therapy for it, obviously. He should be out of therapy within 2 weeks, and he should resume basketball activities in mid-June.
Why? Why? Why do they need him to resume basketball activities in mid-June? They're not in the playoffs. They're not in the finals. Why push him? Give him time to recuperate
This is where we disagree. This is where we're going to disagree.
I'm not saying make him stop physical therapy and lay around on the couch and eat potato chips and watch TV.
This is where we're going to disagree.
He's got till next season.
After physical therapy.
He's got till...
okay, next season.
No, he's got till camp.
Do you know when camp starts?
No.
July. Summer League starts in July. Season starts in September.
Okay. Hope they give him enough time to recuperate.
This is where we're going to disagree because
we always do.
I'm going to state our two sides.
Yeah.
We
and
always
then you're going to...
We always do.
I
say they don't give him enough time to heal.
Okay. But after physical therapy, what happens if you just stop moving after physical therapy?
You get atrophy.
Right.
Your muscles get lethargic.
They cannot let him stop moving.
I didn't say stop moving.
You can't rest him. You take your time with
That's
him.
what physical.
Yes.
That's what physical therapy's all about. That's where he gets his activity. Don't put him back on the court and make him run up and down on the hardwood floor.
So put him out there cold turkey in September?
No!
Then what do you propose they do?
Keep going with the physical therapy and the massages and all that. And
that's only going to solve so much.
Ease him back in.
That's only going to solve so much. He's got to be ready by September. He's our starting point guard. He has to be ready in September.
I understand that. Okay.
Otherwise, we're wasting money like we had on Gordon.
I understand that. We are in May.
You're talking 3 months. June, July, August. Season begins in September.
You're talking about putting him back on the hardwood floor in 3 to 4 weeks?
Yes! Because you can't just throw him in the lineup. You can't just expect him to produce after not being on the court.
I don't expect that. I hope they give him enough time to heal properly.
Okay, but the only way it's going to heal properly is if you work it. If you have surgery on something and you just sit around, you're not using it.
I'm very much aware of that.
Okay. So they can't just let him not do anything. They have to put him back on the floor. He has to be ready by September. He has to be.
I think there's a happy medium. I think they can do physical therapy. They can do the massages. They can do all the electrolysis. They can do all that kind of stuff and still...
And what about basketball?
And still give him... I'm saying don't put him back on the floor in the next 3 weeks.
Why not? Why not? Because if you wait till July or August to get him working back into the lineup and participating with the team, it's going to cost the team. I've seen it happen. Look at Gordon. They did the same crap with Eric Gordon. That's why last year he wasn't shit. And look, he has surgery on his knee. Look at what happened to Gordon in January. When he basically tore every freaking muscle in his knee. Had the surgery. And we didn't expect him to come back this season. He said, no, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And you were saying, no, let him sit out. Let him sit out. He's going to re-injure. Really?
I just want them to give...
Now he's earning his money.
I want them to give Drew a chance to heal properly. You work him, you exercise it, you do the physical therapy, you do the hot and cold compresses, you do whatever needs to be done. But don't run him up and down the court immediately.
Then how will he be prepared to play in September?
I didn't say not at all.
But you gotta start it early. You have to start it early. You cannot just throw him in the lineup in August. You can't. It is going to cost the team victories. And with the damn division that we play in, we need every game we can freaking get.
I agree.
Holiday's our damn point guard. We got $37 million invested in this man.
Okay.
I am not willing.
He re-injures that knee
To let
his career.
You take the risk. Look at what Gordon did.
Knee we're talking about.
Look at what Gordon did.
It's not your knee we're talking about.
It's not yours either.
I know that, but it's real easy to say, we got to take the risk.
What do you expect him to do?
I just hope they take their time enough to let him heal properly.
Got to put him in.
I feel, I see both sides, but if you wait just to start putting him in to get him ready for September, it's going to be hard on him regardless.
Either way.
Either way, it's going to be difficult.
I agree.
But the thing is, he's not just some guy on the bench. He's the starter.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if he feels like he can move better, give him 2 to 3 weeks of therapy, and then let him start. Let him start working now, before the summer camp. I mean,
That's the starting point guard.
yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
I hear you.
I mean, he
I mean,
plays
you take-
33 minutes.
You take injury and ruining the rest of your career into risk every time you step on the floor.
Right.
Is there a greater risk because you've already been injured? Yes, but look at what Eric Gordon did. He tore every damn tendon in his knee in January. Had the surgery, came back way before we expected him to, and damn it, he's earning his money now.
Yeah.
If Gordon can do it, Holiday can do it. I mean, come on now. This is another one. We're gonna frickin' stretch this injury out. And I know it's not his fault, but this is the same crap that Gordon did. I mean, I know we're not about to have a Derrick Rose in New Orleans, right?
I hope not.
Now, let's talk about the Pelicans next year a little bit.
How in the world do you expect to do that?
What should we do in the offseason? Is there anything that you guys can pinpoint? Whether it be players, coaches, free agency, contracts. Is there anything that you guys can think of? Maybe somebody has to work on their game a little bit. Anything that you guys can think of?
Oh my God, we're in the middle of playoffs. I can't talk about the Pelicans
Sure you can.
right now.
Sure you can.
My mind's not on the Pelicans right now.
It should be. Anything that you
Keep
guys
everybody
think
well
we
and
need
healthy.
to do for
Get
next
everybody well. Get rid of the injuries. Keep everybody healthy. That's the number one thing. That's my opinion.
Work hard to get Norris Cole some more minutes.
season. Norris Cole more minutes.
Like, train him hard. Because, I mean, sure, he was probably one of the most improved players on the Pelicans. I mean, it was.
Oh, he's got a long way to go.
He's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But damn it, if he could do it this year,
Yeah.
imagine what. I mean, look at Anthony Davis. If he's great now, what is he going to be like 2 or 3 years from now?
Number
can't see
one.
anything big.
Number one should be make Anthony Davis eat rice and gravy 3 times a day.
Number one.
He needs to gain some
Number
weight.
one should be talking to Anthony Davis about a new contract.
He needs to take that deal.
Oh, yeah.
That 5 years, $140 million that you're planning to offer him, don't plan to offer it. Offer it now.
Get him to sign on the
Now.
dotted
Guarantee you
line.
he's going to take it.
Number 2, Monty Williams. I think you got to re-sign him. I think
Is there
again,
still talk in the works about him leaving?
no, not him
About
leaving.
him
Us
getting
letting him
rid of-
go.
Right.
Yes. Okay. I think you got to re-sign him because I said in the
What
preseason
in
debate.
the world are they waiting on to do those 2 things?
They're looking at Scott Brooks' interest. Remember, the X factor is
Yeah.
Scott Brooks.
I know that.
Because the same
What are we waiting on to get Anthony Davis to make a commitment?
there's a time limit. You can't offer until this date, and you can only offer up until this date. That first date has not
Do
hit
we
yet.
know if anyone else is talking to Anthony Davis right
We
now?
have no idea.
Okay.
Now,
Probably
keep in mind,
are, but it's not open to
keep
the
in
public.
mind, he's got 1 year left with us. But we can offer that contract at any time during this next season. This offseason included. Okay? I think you got to do something with Monty Williams. I think you got to re-sign him. I said in the preseason debate that this was a hot seat year for him. And if he did well, we needed to re-sign him. Well, damn it, we made the playoffs. I think that's doing pretty well.
You don't think it would be to our advantage to get Scott Brooks?
No, I don't.
Totally different coaching style.
Totally different coaching style, totally new environment.
Don't you think it...
No connection with AD.
Right. Do you think it would hurt the team?
Yes.
You think the team would resent it?
I don't think they'd resent it, but I don't think we'd be the same Pelicans team.
Okay.
Scott Brooks likes to jump shoot more, like he did in OKC. We ain't a jump shooting team.
No.
Give me a break. We have 3-point shooters, but we ain't. And number 3. Yes, the injuries. Number 3, got to get some guys off the bench. You got Norris Cole. You got Quincy
We
Pondexter.
need to build our bench.
You got Quincy Pondexter.
Which he just had surgery.
Yes, he did. You got Dante Cunningham. You got Alexia Jensen. It's a good role. That's a good way to start.
Yeah, but
you need 2 or 3 more guys that can
Right.
come off the. Oh, and Ryan Anderson. Sorry, and you got 2 or 3 more guys that you need to get off that bench that can come and provide firepower for this
I
team.
have a question for you. Do you think that Ryan Anderson has improved enough and is healthy enough, and with all of the big plays he made, that he should now be our starter?
Sure, but where? Holiday's your point guard, right?
Yeah.
Gordon's your shooting guard,
Oh,
right?
well, Ryan's too big to be a point guard
Okay.
anyway.
Gordon's your shooting guard, right?
Right.
Evans is your small forward, right?
Right.
Anthony's your power forward, right? Oshik's your center. Where are you going to put Anderson? No room.
Don't you think that... You think Ashik is a better big man than Ryan Anderson could be? Or Ryan Anderson's not big
Ryan
enough?
Anderson is a big man, but he's a different kind of big man. He spreads the
know.
floor. He likes to play on the outside. We need somebody that can rebound. Ashik is clumsy, yes, but he gets freaking 13 rebounds a game. And we need it.
And Agenta. We have Ashik and Agenta.
We need Ashik in that starting lineup, I think.
Okay.
We'd be more versatile with Anderson at the 4 and AD at the 5. Now, that could happen if AD puts on weight. If AD puts on weight,
Oh my God.
get him up to about 230, 240 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, you can
What's he at
stick.
now?
It's about 215.
Yeah, he needs
Okay.
to gain about 30 pounds.
You put him at the 5. You can put Anderson at the 4 to spread the floor, but you can't do that unless Anthony Davis bulks up.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
I agree.
Let's move on to game analysis for the upcoming playoff games. We're going to start with Atlanta and Washington. Game 4 in Washington. That is tonight.
I hate when you do this.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh,
You love it.
I've got Washington.
Washington is favored by 3.5 to win this game tonight.
I've got Washington.
What does Atlanta have to do to tie this series?
Get out there, move fast, and get some points on the board quickly. They're in Washington. They're not on their own court. And once you gain that lead, hold on to it. Don't get comfortable. Don't slack off. And don't relax, because Washington will come back with a vengeance.
For Atlanta.
I don't want to say play defense because they did. I don't see how a team could go on a 17-0 run without playing some type of defense.
Correct.
Right.
Jeff Teague.
Bingo! Nail on the head.
Jeff Teague.
No John Wall means Jeff Teague.
Right.
And they're in Washington.
Yeah. They're in Washington.
Sure, it's gonna add
This
some
is going
pressure.
to me, this is the game that's going to be the determining factor.
But Jeff Teague played an amazing game
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But
Now,
he needs
granted,
to-
he didn't
now-
start off that way.
He needs an even more amazing game tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
No
Now-
John Wall. It's got to be Jeff Teague.
Now, if Jeff Teague steps up and plays the entire game like he did in the second half yesterday, I would have to say Atlanta.
I think it's Jeff Teague, and I think that Atlanta, if you're going to rely on your three-pointers, you need to hit them.
Right.
I'm sick
Yeah.
and tired of seeing Atlanta go 8 for 38 from three.
And what is this all of a sudden trying to make shots from mid-court almost? Isn't it better to go 5 or 6 steps closer and get your guaranteed 2?
It's not guaranteed. I hate when people say that. It is not
It's a
guaranteed.
lot bigger
It's a better percentage, sure.
Oh,
but when's the last time you seen Kyle Korver go for a layup?
I
10
didn't
years
say
ago?
layups. I didn't say it.
When's the last time you've seen Kyle Korver shoot anything besides a 3?
Baby, but some of them, I'm not, okay, all right. I'm saying in the arc where the line is fine, some of the shots they're doing are almost from center court.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Again, and he can speak to this as well because we talked about this last week. It is easy to say that as an analyst or a fan. When you are out there playing,
And the opportunity presents itself, you take it.
you take the first open shot
Of
you
course
got.
you do.
Right.
No matter where it's from.
But I've seen, Bud, you have to admit, Atlanta took some shots that when
Okay,
that ball
yeah,
went in the
but-
air, you knew damn good and well that ball was not going to go in.
Okay, but they don't think like that when they're on the court. They don't think like that. It's easy to say that.
Then that's playing recklessly. And you're in the semifinals.
It's easy to say that as a fan or an
I
analyst.
still say it's better to take a chance on a guaranteed
It's
2
not guaranteed.
than a chance on a guaranteed 2.
It's not
than to be
guaranteed.
almost in center court.
That is my
where
point.
the emblem is
A shot.
and just lob the ball up in the air and hope it goes
See,
in.
but how are you going to tell me that a 2-pointer is guaranteed when DeAndre Jordan can't make his free throws? Aren't free throws supposed to be guaranteed too?
Yeah, but that's because DeAndre Jordan needs to practice his free throws.
Okay, so if Kyle Korver misses a 2-pointer, is that because Kyle Korver needs to practice his 2-pointers? Or is that because every shot is not guaranteed in this league?
Of course every shot's
Okay, so it's not guaranteed. So you're going to play to your strengths. Kyle Korver's strength is 3-pointers. I haven't seen Kyle Korver take a 2 since high school. Okay, I haven't. That is how he plays.
I mean, granted, you want to talk about
We're
guaranteed
not only
twos?
talking about Kyle Korver.
You want to talk about guaranteed twos? Look at Nene. He airballed 95% of all of his free throws.
No kidding.
Airballed those free throws.
Right.
And
It
was
was
happy as hell about it.
Embarrassing.
What does Washington have to do to win this game?
Pass the ball to Paul Pierce if he is wide open.
Oh, they're
If he is wide open.
They're not going to leave Paul. Watch if Paul's not double teamed tonight.
They're
Oh,
not
I
gonna
don't doubt
double-team
it.
him.
But that,
They're
huh?
not going to double team him.
They're not going to double team him.
But that means somebody else would be free.
They're not going to double team Paul Pierce even in the late seconds. They're not.
But I've seen so many instances where Paul Pierce is standing in the corner
Yeah.
and he is wide open.
in that sweet spot.
And
Yeah.
then they will just
Right,
run it up.
right. Washington needs to play a little faster. They need to run a little more.
Also,
and
they need to play a little bit
faster.
more aggressive
Uh-huh.
to stop Atlanta from going from a 17-0 run.
Right.
I don't know about y'all, but I could use a big game from Bradley Beal tonight.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Without your teammate back there, John Wall, with you, I could use a big game. And I'm not talking about 35 points on 9 of 25. I need an efficient game.
Consistent, too.
I would rather you get 18 points on 7 of 11 shooting than 30 points on 7 of 25 shooting. because it's not efficient. I need a big game from Bradley Beal, and I would like to credit Ramon Sessions on taking John Wall's place and doing it very well.
Yeah, because he had some big shoes
He
to
was
fill.
their leading scorer last
He had
game.
some big shoes to fill.
And I believe that I think this is going to be another close one. So, who do you go to in the closing moments? Got to go to Paul Pierce.
Well, of course you
All
do.
right.
So,
You're not going to say anything about the coach?
no.
Oh, what
I have
the,
an
what, the,
NBA
what,
game
the,
time
what the
alert.
coaches...
John Wall remains out for Game 4 versus
Yeah,
the Hawks.
well, I knew that. You're not going to say anything about coaching.
What did you see the Washington's
Really?
coach go off?
Oh, Randy Whitman? Yeah. So, Game 4 predictions.
Mm.
Who wins and why?
Washington.
Why?
Momentum,
Mm-hmm.
because they're on a high right now, and they have home court advantage.
Okay. We got one Washington.
Because they're in, well, if they were in Atlanta, I might have second thoughts with the John Wall issue.
I don't know. It's close. It's going to be
This-
extremely
yeah,
close.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome
It's
game.
going to be close. Yes, it will be awesome.
And I think this is the turning point game.
I don't see there would be some deciding factors for me. If Bradley Beal plays an amazing game, if Ramon Sessions plays like he did yesterday, if Paul Pierce just shows up on the court like he did, if he gets off the plane,
If he gets off the plane.
if he gets off the
If
plane
he
and
makes it
steps
to
foot
Washington.
in Washington, the game's up. No, I'm just. But also on Atlanta's side, if Jeff Teague plays the way he did, I mean, I really don't know anybody else on Atlanta, but he's the only. He was huge last night. I don't know.
Yeah, night before last.
Yeah.
Or the night before
Saturday,
last, right?
yeah.
I mean,
That's John.
yeah.
What you got?
I want to say Washington. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with my
It could
gut
go either
instinct. I think I'm gonna. Who do I want to win? Washington. I'm just gonna go with my gut feeling, and think Atlanta's gonna pull out at least one more game.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, Washington
even
pulled their last win in Atlanta.
Even if Washington wins tonight, that's only 3 games.
Right.
Then they go back to Atlanta. Look, I've got them down for the whole 7 series.
I
It
wouldn't
could
be
go
surprised.
7.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It could go 7,
But-
but I think tonight's a key factor.
Right. If Washington wins tonight,
It's a big turn. If Atlanta wins, we're even again. It's 2-2. We're on an even playing field.
I'm going
It's
in the entirety
anybody's
series.
game.
I'm going against the grain. Atlanta steal this one tonight.
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm feeling. at
I
this
think
point.
Jeff Teague has a big game, and I'm sorry. I think Paul Pierce bailed their asses out last game. I do. It was just not convincing to me. I think that with the absence of John Wall, eventually...
Okay, when you say bail their asses out, you're not saying that was a lucky shot.
No!
Okay.
But I'm saying the fact that
Okay.
Atlanta went on a 17-0 run when you were up by 21 points is just
Okay.
inexcusable.
I just wanted to make sure that we were not about to have World War III because you were saying that was a lucky shot.
I'm going to say that they're lucky that they had the ball in the last 5 seconds.
They're lucky they have Paul Pierce.
Because if they didn't have the
Perfectly
ball,
honest.
that would never have happened.
Well-
I found it hilarious on the fact that Schroeder, whatever his name is, had said that it was a lucky shot, and he is 6'1". Paul Pierce is 6'7", and called it a lucky shot when he can see clear over your fingertips?
Nothing Paul Pierce does in the final minute of the game is ever lucky.
No.
That's pure clutch.
I'm going to say that Atlanta steals this game tonight because I have them winning the series.
So do I.
I don't want them to win the series.
So do I.
While watching this game tonight, which I'm going to watch both the games in full tonight.
I have them winning too.
While I watch this game, I am going to be pulling for Washington. Matter of fact, I will have my Boston Celtics Paul Pierce jersey on while I watch this game. I'm going to pull for Washington through grit and
But
grain.
on paper, on your graph, you have Atlanta
I've got
winning.
Atlanta winning this
So
series.
do I.
And in order for that to happen, they have to win this game.
Okay. Now, if Washington wins tonight, you going to change your grid?
I'm not changing my grid.
You
Because you're not supposed to change your grid.
Okay.
If Washington wins this game tonight, they win the series. Because they'll end it in Game 6 in Washington. But if Atlanta wins tonight, which I think is going to happen because I think Jeff Teague's going to go off.
If that happens, we're going to have Washington playing either Chicago or Cleveland.
And they'll lose to either one.
Oh my God.
Golden State and Memphis. Game 4 analysis. That's the second game tonight.
Is that in Golden State or
That is in Memphis.
It's in Memphis.
Memphis up 2-1.
Game over.
What does Golden State have to do to win this game?
Look, it's probably going to sound really bad, but they need to pass to someone else other than. Honestly, I don't give a damn if he is the MVP. The MVP doesn't go 27% from his known 3.
They need to, in other words, Johnny, they need to realize there's more than just Curry on the floor.
And they can. I mean, look at Klay Thompson, or is that his name?
Yeah,
right?
that's his name.
He sucks too.
He doesn't usually.
Usually, but for the past couple of games, where has he been? Where has
Wait a minute.
Golden
Whoa,
State?
wait a minute.
The whole big Golden State that we knew in the regular season.
You just said where has he been? Is it because Thompson and Curry haven't shown up? Or is it because Memphis has outplayed them?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
You gotta ask yourself.
Right.
Are we relying too much on one or two players?
I don't think I could have stopped laughing that night at work when Klay Thompson stole the ball
And missed
and went for the dunk and missed it.
blew it.
Completely.
Straight up blew it.
Uh-huh.
So, wow. So, don't go to Curry.
Well, the thing is that
Wow.
it was funny because reading on ESPN, they said he will find his form. If he hasn't found his form in the semifinals of the playoffs, they're in trouble.
What was your original question? I've lost track.
What does Golden State have
What
to
does
do
Golden
with this
State
game?
have to do?
Well, see, I'm going to contradict everything we just said. For them to win, they're going to have to give Curry the ball. They're going to have to.
And just hope, and just live on the hope of him making it.
He's the three-point shooter. They're going to have to give. But the point is, will they be able to? Because I think Memphis can stop them. They've just proved they can.
Right. So, don't go to Curry.
No, I say do go to Curry.
Don't go to Thompson.
I say do.
Then who do you go to?
No, I say do.
I see where you're coming from.
Right.
When a shooter's off, pass the ball.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. But if Curry doesn't score,
Who will?
who is?
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, Andrew Bogut is an abomination of himself.
I don't know what has happened to him.
He's always sucked. He is the most overrated NBA player ever. That is going to go down.
More so lately.
Okay? Andre Iguodala ain't going to do it.
No.
Leandro Barbosa ain't going to
No.
do it. Maurice Spates is out.
If you don't go to Thompson,
Klay Thompson is not the type that can take over
no,
a game.
No. But between both of them, if you don't go to those two,
I'm gonna just say it right now. Curry's the MVP for a reason,
yeah.
and it is. He has to do it tonight.
He has to.
You want to win this game tonight? It is Curry, Curry, Curry.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I know it's too late to take it back. Take the award back. What if Golden State loses the series?
I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
That would cast a whole new light.
Johnny, you have no
on the
idea how many
situation.
times that has happened.
Well, I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it at all. But
MVP awards are given all the time.
I don't think it casts a shadow because he's MVP.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that
he's
that
MVP
team
of the
ends up winning.
regular season.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
Right.
I'm not going to take it away from him because he was
Playoffs
amazing during the regular
Right.
season.
Are different.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
My thing is, you want to win, you gotta go to Curry.
You got
because
got
he's the only
to.
one that can do it. Now, if
However-
they stick Tony Allen and Mike
however-
Conley on him.
That's the point.
But
You can pass it to Curry all day, all night long. If somebody's there to either take it away from him, get in his face, or keep him from doing what he knows how to do, it doesn't do any good if you pass it to him or not.
MVPs make plays.
I agree that. I agree with that. But we both have agreed numerous times he don't like anybody in his face or in his personal area.
Well, he's gonna have to get used to it.
Well, he hasn't so far.
Well, he needs to get used to it in this game.
That's why they've only got one win.
I see it. I see it going. I don't see Memphis taking it in 5 games. I see them taking it to 6, at least 6, because they play game 5
in Golden State.
in Golden State.
Right.
I feel
haven't-
like they're going to at
haven't-
least get it
Right.
So
one more game.
What does Memphis have to do to win this game?
The exact opposite of everything we just said. They need to stay on top of Curry.
Yep.
They need to stay in his face. They need to be stuck to him like glue. They need to get the rebounds. They need to make sure that they don't leave him open to get in his sweet spots to take those shots. And they need to play defense hard and run a lot.
As valid as those points are, and I agree with every single one of them, that Conley and Tony Allen have done a great job on Curry, and Thompson and the three-point shooters. But as good as they are, the heart and soul of Memphis is one Zach Randolph.
Would you want to face that in the middle of the court?
Randolph and Gasol have got to make this team go.
Gasol has to continue playing the way he is playing.
Gasol,
If he slacks off,
Marc Gasol needs to make Andrew Bogut look like what we all know he
right,
is. A
exactly.
slob. A fat, Jabba the Hutt slob.
You're on the air.
I don't care. I am sick and tired of, oh my God, Andrew Bogut's an elite big man. He ain't even a big man, much less elite. That fat, Jabba the Hutt, no good slob that looks like the Geico caveman.
He really
Sitting in the
does.
middle. You supposed to intimidate somebody?
There's
Give
no-
me Dwight Howard, I'll show you intimidating. Give me DeAndre Jordan, I'll show you intimidating.
Zach Randolph in the middle of the floor is
Andrew Bogut, I wipe my foot on Andrew Bogut. Give me a break. Give me a break. Sick of it. I'm just sick and
He's got
tired.
carpal tunnel
I'm
and
just
his elbow and arm is.
I'm sick and
killing.
tired of all this talk about Andrew Bogut.
All
My
I'm
point
saying-
is,
Oh, sorry to interrupt. All I'm saying is that if the lights were to shut off in the stadium during like a power outage, I would be the first one out of the door because of Zach Randolph. I would be scared shitless.
Well, that would be like when Shaq used to stand in the middle of the floor.
Right! Zach Randolph just has to look at you.
I wonder if Johnny ever saw that
Game
game when Rondo was running down the court and ran into Shaq right in the middle of
when Shaq was paying for Cleveland, I gotta tell this story. I'm gonna tell it on the air because it's gonna bring back some very fond memories. And I guarantee you,
I laughed till I had
all of the listeners are about to go look up this game. It was that one rare moment when LeBron and Shaq played on the same team. Don't get me started, okay?
Yeah.
When Shaq had his 2-year
Please.
stint in Cleveland. Little 5'11" Rajon Rondo. He's not 5'11", he's more like 6'2". He's 6'2", but he weighs 170 pounds. If that, okay?
And this is when Shaq was at one of his heaviest.
Shaq weighed about 330 at this point. Rondo goes in.
And he's coming down, boy, fierce with that ball.
Rondo goes for a reverse lay. He's going down the left side of the lane. And we all know he's right-handed. He ain't going to finish with the left. He's going to go to his right. Looking for the reverse layup like this on the other side.
And Shaq didn't move.
Big Shaq, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, is in the middle of the lane like
Yeah,
this.
like that.
And all Shaq did was this. He pivoted.
I swear.
He pivoted on his left foot. Didn't touch him, nothing. Rondo flew off of Shaq's stomach like
He
a
hit
ball.
him and bounced off like a
It
ball.
was like a trampoline at Sky Zone. It was the most incredibly funny thing I think I've ever
And
seen.
didn't he hit the floor and slide?
And Shaq got called for a foul, and Shaq's just like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I stuck my tummy out. Game 4 tonight. Golden State and Memphis.
Memphis.
Who wins and why?
Memphis.
Oh, okay. Well, you have to give why. I just don't see Golden State pulling out this game, and they're gonna hit their worst losing streak ever.
I'm going to say Memphis because Steph Curry has not shown me the clutch gene yet. You
No.
want clutch? This is a clutch game. And I've not
Oh,
been,
yeah, this is a
I have-
determining factor game.
This is not, I've not seen the clutch gene from Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He has not proven it to me in the
This
playoffs.
is a determining factor
Am I
game.
saying that Memphis is going to run away with this game? Absolutely not.
No.
Do you
And-
have Golden State or Memphis as your pick?
I've got Golden State.
Me too.
I would not be shocked if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson stepped up and Golden State won this game. I would not be shocked.
Then they'll back on an then
I would
they'll
not-
be back on an
Please
even playing
understand,
field.
I'm
Yeah.
not counting them out.
No.
I would not be shocked.
No.
But I would be surprised if Memphis let this one slide at home. Chicago and Cleveland. Looking ahead to tomorrow night. Game 5. Back in Cleveland. So, what does Cleveland have to do to win this game? Keep in mind, tendonitis for Kyrie Irving. Don't know if he'll play. That in mind, what does Cleveland have to do to take a series?
I can't answer for that one basic reason. I cannot answer. I refuse to make a prediction. The only thing that I can say is that Cleveland's going to have home court advantage, which to me in Cleveland that's a big deal. Okay? But if Chicago is still without Powell,
They probably will be.
well, then I have no idea. Because if you take away Powell and you take away Kyrie Irving and you already don't have Kevin Love, I have no
They
idea.
haven't said anything about Kyrie Irving not playing.
Okay?
All they've
he
said
has
is that he's
tendonitis.
got tendonitis. But we've seen players play with tendonitis before.
He just probably play limited minutes.
So,
Then I would have to say
what
Cleveland.
does Cleveland have to do to win the game?
Then I would have to say Cleveland.
They need to take it easy with Kyrie Irving.
Oh, he's got to play limited minutes.
No, yeah. Got to take it easy with Kyrie Irving.
I've got that series going for 7.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's the most well-matched, to me. That is the hardest matched setup. It could go either way. And we got to pray that nobody gets hurt more
What
on
does
either team.
Cleveland have to do to win this game? LeBron.
Yeah.
Continue doing what they're doing.
LeBron. You want to talk about an advantage for Cleveland and home court? They got the biggest advantage in the world in LeBron
Hell,
James.
you had the biggest advantage whenever he signed with the team.
Yeah.
good.
Even though they burned his jersey before.
How about Chicago? What does Chicago have to do to pull this one out?
Well, they're tied up right now. They just have to
Derrick
continue.
Rose.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Rose has to be Derrick Rose.
But they also, I know there's nothing they can do about Joakim Noah. Because regardless whether we don't like the guy for the person that he is.
Oh no, I'm
can't
not
deny
going to take away
anything
from
about
his skill.
Yeah. Because he's a great defensive player.
Don't forget about Jimmy Butler.
Well, right.
Oh my God. So between Rose and Butler and Noah?
Without Pau Gasol, y'all are forgetting about a very big factor.
Oh, I did not forget about Pau. It's the first thing I said.
No. Without Pau Gasol, tell me the guy who needs to step up in his place. Because it's none of the three y'all named. Taj Gibson.
Oh, Taj Gibson. He got hurt.
Taj Gibson.
Is he hurt?
No.
Okay.
Taj Gibson will be the X factor.
He twisted his ankle bad.
He will be the X factor in this game. Because, yes, they need Derrick Rose. But they need somebody besides Derrick Rose. That's where you go to Jimmy Butler. Okay, but LeBron is going to be guarding Jimmy Butler. So who's going to be guarding Taj Gibson?
He twisted his ankle bad last night.
Fine.
You sure he's not out?
Fine. We would have heard something. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me.
Because I saw him slide across the floor at Nanny's house last night with that ankle.
Taj Gibson. Tom Brady is suspended 4 games for Deflategate. Just letting y'all know.
Damn.
Deflation of the footballs. It was found to be true.
Just him?
Because he knew about it. Strips Patriots.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me he's the only one that knew about it?
I guess it.
I do not believe that for a second.
Well, this isn't a football debate, so.
No.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get off the air. Chicago, Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson.
That's so unfair.
Taj Gibson. No, it's not. Taj Gibson has got to be the man to step up in this game. Game 5 predictions. Who wins and why?
Oh, that's hard.
For argument's sake, since we haven't heard anything about it, Kyrie Irving plays. Since we haven't heard anything about it, Kyrie Irving's still playing.
So we're going off
Cleveland.
the base of...
Cleveland.
And it's in Cleveland.
Yes, it is.
Cleveland.
I would have to go with Cleveland.
I got Chicago. And here's why. Game 1 of this series was in Cleveland, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Chicago can win in Cleveland. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying just because it's in Cleveland,
Yeah.
I'm going with Cleveland.
Chicago, I'm going to say Chicago because, A, coaching. Tom Thibodeau has a distinct, in my mind at least, advantage over one David Blatt, especially considering who Tom Thibodeau was an assistant under in Boston. A guy by the name of Rivers the Doc. Okay? Number 2, bench play. Chicago's bench has been iffy at times in this series, but when it has been good, it has been really good.
Yeah, but you're taking a chance on saying win.
Wait, and it has been at its best on the road, statistically. And third and most importantly, Cleveland is on a high right now. They're young. As experienced as LeBron is, he cannot make up for everybody else's youth. They are on a high right now. How confident did they get? Because I can tell you right now, Chicago's looking at this game as a must-win. Because they've got to end it in Game 6 when they're at home. Because they're not going to do it in Game 7. Chicago is looking at this as a must-win game. And in must-win games, I'm sorry, Chicago comes through. Historically, Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah, they come through in must-win games.
going to be tight
I agree.
and physical.
But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to take Chicago to steal Game 5 and end this series just like I predicted in 6 games in Chicago.
Okay, I got
Experience
Cleveland.
over youth. Now, the fun one. Houston and Los Angeles, Game 5. What does Houston have to do to keep this series alive? They are at home down 3-1.
They need to play. They need to show up and they need to play.
They
need to play like they played during the regular season.
Because
Okay.
there's absolutely no way that you're going to stop somebody like Blake Griffin or Chris Paul, Austin Rivers,
Well,
regardless of anybody, who the hell it is, doesn't matter. But
they need to stay out of
They
foul
need-
trouble, first of all.
they need to that, but they also need to not just base the game on James Harden. Because James Harden had 21 points. Everybody else, the highest scoring person, had 12.
Mm-hmm. And they need to keep Dwight under control.
No, Dwight needs to keep himself under control.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, 'cause
you
that's all on
want to
him.
phrase it that way, that's fine.
'Cause that's all on him.
Dwight needs to grow up and get himself under control.
Oh, if he's
He
not
needs
grown
to
up by
check
now.
himself.
He's been in the league for how long now?
He
It
also,
doesn't matter. That's his mentality.
Well, you're right. But, I mean,
Okay?
He also needs to be the best player in this game.
If they want to win,
I got
yeah.
news for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I agree with
I
you.
don't care who James Harden is.
I
I don't
agree.
care.
I
Let
agree.
Harden get his points. But if he's the only one getting points, you're not going to win the game.
No.
Just like
no,
he said.
right.
Well, not only that. If you put Dwight under the goal or anywhere within reach of the goal.
Who's going to challenge him?
Exactly.
The guy can touch the goal without even hopping.
Exactly.
Okay.
I will give him credit for that.
Houston, the thing I've been, I think I can phrase the way we all think about Houston in this series with this statement here. They need to let the game come to them.
Yeah.
I see Houston trying to force way too much. I see Houston.
They're not playing like themselves at all.
They're trying to one-up the Clippers at the Clippers' own game, and it's not working.
It's not going to work because they
It's
don't
not
play the
working.
same at all.
Yes, James Harden needs to be good, but Dwight Howard, number one, has to stay in the game.
Yeah, don't foul out.
Number two, control yourself, but defend your home court. What I don't want to see is DeAndre Jordan bully Dwight Howard and Dwight just say, oh, I need to stay out of foul trouble. I don't want to see that from Dwight Howard. You're at home. You defend your home court. I don't want to see Dwight shade back from DeAndre Jordan. Okay? Now, what do the Clippers have to do to win this series and move to their first ever Western Conference Final?
Boy, they are really going to have a tough game on their hands. They don't have home court advantage. They just won big time. It's hard to follow up with such a big point spread and come back and you know they're going to be exhausted. Okay? They got to play like they've been playing. They got to play like they've been playing. Chris Paul is obviously not that hurt anymore. I know he's still on limited minutes. Blake's got to be there. Chris has got to be there. I mean, come on. They've been doing an awesome job. I'll look for the Clippers to win. Which would be totally contradictory of what I have on my sheet.
They need to play basketball. They need to play it well. Can't.
Put the ball in Chris Paul's hands.
But at the same time, can't ignore the fact that Blake Griffin has been playing a good game.
Oh, I know that, but Chris is on limited minutes. When he's
Right.
on the floor and he's hot, give him the ball.
Yeah, I think he only played like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
Okay. I was afraid it was going to come to this. Last week, we talked about the proverbial monkey being off of Chris Paul's back. You recall that?
Mm-hmm.
And we both said it wasn't.
No. It can't be.
For 10 years, this man, I have stuck behind this man for 10 years. 150%. I have backed this man for 10 years because we know how great he is.
Yep.
Because we know what he can potentially do on a night-to-night basis.
We've seen him do it.
But we are praising this man. We don't even realize we're doing it. But we are praising this man. For what? For what? All-Star games? All-Star Game MVP awards? First team All-NBA selections?
What's your point?
While you got Tony Parker in San Antonio going under the radar, but he's getting rings.
Okay.
Rajon Rondo winning a ring as a rookie. That goes under the radar.
Okay, what's your point?
My point is, it is his time to step up.
Hmm?
And it is times like this that define the great players because he has a history. Teams that he plays on have a history of going up 3-1
And then blowing
and dropping it
Yeah.
like a bomb.
He is right about that.
We have praised this man for what?
Because we know his potential and what he can do.
Potential is potential. You got Tony Parker flying under the radar, winning ring after ring. I'm sick of praising him and him not getting it done. Now, I say this out of nothing but love and respect for the man. I want this for him.
Okay, what makes you think he's not going to do it this time?
I'm just tired of us praising him and him not getting the job done and we look like fools. It is time for him to get the job done. And
What makes you say he's not?
because his history tells otherwise.
Okay, he could prove you wrong.
Am I not saying that's what I hope he does?
Okay.
But I'm basing this off of his previous history. It's not a good history either.
The past is in the past. We can't predict the future. All we can deal with is the present. And let's wait
Yeah,
and
the
see what
past is the
happens.
past, but the past you had to write yourself.
Okay.
You wrote your own past.
Okay.
So what is said about your past, you did to yourself. And it is what people base you off of in human nature. It is time to step up. Because if this goes past Game 5, if this goes past tomorrow night, I don't have any more confidence. Because of his past history. He needs to end it tonight while they have momentum. Or tomorrow night when they have momentum.
We'll see.
Just a few playoff questions before we get out of here. What has been team or player or moment or something to you that has stood out as the biggest disappointment this postseason and why?
That's easy. The Pelicans not making it into the semifinals and losing in the first round against Golden State. And I'm
Really?
done. Yeah. That was the biggest disappointment for me.
I think so.
You go ahead.
What are you talking about?
The referees are the biggest disappointment in this postseason. The hack-a-shack, the referees, the tempo of the games. The Pelicans getting knocked out in the first round did not surprise me at all. I wasn't disappointed
You said
about it.
disappointment.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed.
You thought we
in
were
that.
going to beat Golden State?
I was
Really?
disappointed.
Why? We made the playoffs. We beat the Spurs in the final game of the season to lock a
I
playoff
was
spot.
disappointed. I was hoping. I was wishing for a miracle.
The referees
Okay.
have disappointed me highly. Highly. And Tim Duncan not getting his 6th ring. That's disappointing to me. Because I was hoping that San Antonio was going to do it.
I think the biggest disappointment, now that going back to the Hack Shack, was I think the biggest disappointment is Hack Shack in its entirety, because it's been a big factor in the
fact that it's gotten to the point that it's gotten to.
Well, it shouldn't have gone this far.
Right.
Right. What has been the biggest surprise to you this postseason, and why?
The biggest surprise?
Player, coach, moment, anything.
Oh, I've got that one from my own personal viewpoint. What I publicly apologize for. The fact that Derrick Rose is playing phenomenally, not injured, doesn't look like he's trying to have an injury, has come back with a vengeance, and is playing as one of the best players out there right now. I'm pleasantly surprised that he is showing up as the player that he once was once upon a time.
A subject that we had talked about earlier today. David Blatt.
Really?
Very surprised. Because I remember in the beginning of the season, we downed David Blatt till our face turned blue. We hated David Blatt.
Well, we didn't know what he was going to do either.
Right, because, I mean, it was his first year.
Yeah.
But I'm very surprised that
Pleasantly so.
right.
Yeah.
That he is learning the ropes. But he's also, I'm not saying he's learning from LeBron James, but LeBron James is giving him guidance.
Right.
Yeah.
The
in a certain
experience.
way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, biggest surprise would
I
have
can't
to be
believe
David.
neither of y'all said what I'm thinking.
What?
The Washington Wizards.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
For as inconsistent as they were
Well, that's my answer to the next
all
question.
season long,
That's my answer to your next question.
boom, out of nowhere, Washington sweeps Toronto and has a 2-1 lead over Atlanta.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that surprised the hell out of me. Now, who has been the best team this postseason,
The
and
Wizards.
why?
The Washington Wizards. For the very exact reasons you just said. Because it was like, wait a minute, what? That's the team I would pick. Surprising and best right now.
Who has been
As
the
we
best
stand
team this postseason?
right now.
I wouldn't say Washington as the best team. I would say the best improved team. Or the most unlikely. But best team? I'd have to go with the Clippers. Because I changed my finals pick. Because the Clippers managed to beat San Antonio. That was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Any team that knocks off the defending champions, especially when the defending champion is the San Antonio Spurs and does it in 7 games and now holds a 3-1 lead over the Houston Rockets, I don't see how you can't consider them the best team in the postseason.
Okay.
The Los Angeles Clippers have clearly, in my eyes, and Washington is not a bad pick because they swept Toronto, which took me by complete and utter surprise. They threw caution to the wind and just went out and destroyed Toronto. I don't see how anyone could argue against either of them, but my pick would be the Clippers because of the way Chris Paul has stepped up and hopefully continues to play.
Right.
Yep.
Blake Griffin,
I think we're all hoping for that.
DeAndre Jordan,
Yeah.
J.J. Redick, Austin Rivers, Matt Barnes, they've all been so Jamal Crawford. They've all been so very good and so very consistent and timely and just dominant in this playoff. I'm going to say the Clippers. Now, final question of this debate. Who has been the best player or MVP of the playoffs so far and why?
Doc Rivers.
There's
Sorry.
a sleeper.
Sorry.
There's a sleeper.
Doc Rivers. Clippers wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for Doc and
Okay.
his leadership, his guidance, his knowledge, his experience, his
Fair
Doc.
enough. Fair enough.
Doc Rivers. I know I threw you a curveball there.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad pick. I mean,
No.
I can't argue it.
No, because the playoffs are not over, so I can't really pick who I think the best
Oh, I
MVP of the entire playoff season
Oh,
is.
I can.
Okay, I know you expected me to say Chris
Well,
Paul.
No, I didn't.
I want
Oh.
to hear what you have to say.
I'm going to give you my two candidates, and then I'm going to go back to you, and
you're
then I'm
gonna
going
give
to
me your
decide
one.
based on what you give me, because I think you're going to pick one of these two guys.
Right.
Either Chris Paul, because of him stepping up, because of the shot against San Antonio,
Right.
because he played hurt, because he only has to play 25 minutes, and in that 25 minutes, it's probably the best 25 minutes you're going to get out of a point guard in the world,
Right.
or LeBron James. The shot yesterday, I think, solidified to me that he's here, he wants it, he's determined, and he's doing it all
Oh,
handicapped.
he wants it, honey. Oh,
He is
just look
doing
at
it-
him.
He is doing it handicapped. No Kevin Love. Okay. And Kyrie Irving has really been crappy these past couple of games. And here's LeBron.
Yep.
Okay. And the series is tied 2-2. I mean, he hit the shot yesterday on the road. It doesn't get any more clutch than that. Okay. Chris Paul or LeBron. But I'll give you my final answer after you.
No, my MVP is Andrew Bogut. No. It's a pretty close race because those were the two guys that I was thinking
I
about.
would also
was
throw
Chris Paul.
Blake Griffin in that. I would also throw DeAndre Jordan in that. I could also, if you want to base it off of 2 games, throw Mike Conley in there.
Yeah.
Or Paul Pierce.
I could throw Paul Pierce in there. I could throw dozens of names in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Now I don't want my answer to seem like, oh, I'm just saying it because he's LeBron James. I'm not saying that because
But that would be okay too.
right, but the
Because
thing-
he is LeBron James.
Right, but the only reason I am picking LeBron James is because before Kevin Love got hurt, he hadn't really. I'm not saying he didn't step up and lead this team,
Well, he didn't have to.
but he
It
didn't.
wasn't
have to,
all on his shoulders.
right. Now that it is mainly up to him, what happens?
Right.
He's shown that he's always shown that he can lead. But now that he's matured,
Well, number one, he's never had to do it by himself. He's always had Wade
Right.
in the playoffs.
well, he's always been in Wade's shadow.
Well, Wade has always been in his
or
shadow.
vice versa.
Right.
Right. They trade it off sometimes.
You ready for this?
Sure.
The MVP of the playoffs so far has been Chris Paul. It takes it to, now the key words are so far, Don't wiggle your shoulders like that because he's got a job to do tomorrow night.
I'm very much aware what he has to do, but he's up for the task.
You hope?
He's up for the task.
He's going in up for the task.
Yeah.
But it takes a special player to basically eliminate the San Antonio Spurs by yourself.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, and I know there's no I in team, but damn it, Chris Paul did it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Chris Paul, by himself, eliminated the San Antonio Spurs.
I'm very surprised you didn't put that as a question on there. What was the most disappointing outcome so far?
I put what is the biggest disappointment. Chris Paul has played on the level that we have been accustomed to knowing that he can play on, plus some in this playoff. How long will he keep it up? I hope he keeps it up through the finals.
Yeah.
Because I want it for him so bad.
So do I.
But so far, my MVP of the playoffs is that of Chris Paul.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you saw the ESPN update.
Cavs coach David Blatt defends yielding final play to LeBron James. Sometimes you go with your player's feeling. David Blatt said that. And Rockets Dwight Howard fined $15,000 for making contact above the shoulders with Clippers Matt Barnes in Game 4. Interesting. Chris Paul, MVP so far. Anything else? Any comments? Anything y'all want to debate on about tonight? Or are we...
I would say that we're done. Tonight is a very big night.
Tune in. First tips off in 40 minutes.
Yeah. Tonight's a big night for turning points. For both games.
I've always been one to say that Game 7 is not the biggest game. It's
Oh,
Game 4.
I agree.
It's Game 4.
Always.
It's Game 1 and it's Game 4.
I agree. Because that's
of
the
momentum
turning
purposes.
point. Absolutely.
First one tips off in 40 minutes on TNT.
Yep.
Back to back on TNT.
They're back to back tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss it. Thanks for tuning in. For Chris Guyette, Yvonne Juno, and Johnny Malsong. Full Court Press Basketball Debate. Signing off. Thanks, guys.